The race against time. Can Jalen Hurts, even though he's fleet of foot, make it in time to the first down marker known as the divisional playoffs? Or will he come up a little bit short? What's up? It's your boy Cintron coming back at you with another news video, and we're doing some analysis here today on the status of Jalen Hurts. So obviously, no pun intended, but he is hurt. That shoulder, the AC joint, and the spot in between the clavicle is still trying to heal up after that shoulder sprain suffered against the Chicago Bears up in Soldier Field. And, he finished the rest of that game, even though it might have been to his detriment. But he was able to come back 2 weeks later to wrap up the division and give us the #1 seed as well as the NFC East Championship. He lobbied to play in this game, heavy against better judgment, resting. But I don't think he would have won that game if we would have played our backup, Gardner Minshew. He instilled no confidence in himself with the way he acquitted himself in the week prior against the Saints. So I feel like we had to play Jalen. Was it the best option? No. Was it necessary? I feel like yes. Got us the win and got us the much needed bye week to heal what ails us, across the board. Lane Johnson's out, Avonte Maddox is out, but I don't think we should count on those two. Lane could go down, he's dealing with a core muscle issue, a torn abductor, and that could tear at any moment's notice. And Avonte, I don't think he's going to make it in time for this game. And I think he makes the Super Bowl, but definitely not the divisional round. But we got enough pieces back, and they look good. Robert Quinn looked rested and healed up, and so did C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Man, he looked good. Gave some stability there, and Reed Blankenship in CJ's absence played solidly, and looks like he's going to be able to cover that spot when CJ goes down in the slot. So back to Jalen. I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but is he going to be not just functional enough? We need him to be shades of his past self. And what I mean by that is the guy that runs the read option, those RPOs, puts the defense in a bind by making them choose running back or quarterback. Because we're playing true 11 on 11. Because, usually it's 11 on 10. You don't have to account for the quarterback on running plays. You can just take him out of the equation. But he tips the scales in our favor when he does run. And even when he doesn't, it's ever present in their mind. He might take off. The DNs have to play him differently, crashing off the edges, have to play under control. And it opens up play action. There's so many things that you can do, wrinkles off of it. We even saw early in the year on a fourth and usually, push for it, a triangle, fourth down as we call it, 92% success rate, might going down to 91.5 now with Gardner Minshew stinking it up and not getting that one in the Saints game. But it's pretty much automatic. And then you can go for it. Like we rolled out and had someone go to, had him go to the left. And also another playoff of it. I forget, I'm botching it up, but there's so many things you could do off of that. That gives the defense plants doubt in their mind. When they're doubting, they're going to react slower. When they're reacting slower, they're hesitating. And that can get you killed, especially on a field where speed. The difference between a 4-3 and a 4-5, when someone's streaking down the sidelines or getting behind the defense and just got a straight shot at green, nothing but green in front of him. So he does so many things without even having to run the ball or carry the ball upfield. He's living rent-free in the defense's mind. So I want that version of Jalen out there. If we get someone in between, okay, let's maybe go A, B, C. A, if we get worst case scenario, Jalen we saw here, we're going to have to play it a little bit closer to the vest and then lean that run game to get us the result we want to get to the next stage. And then hopefully, the 6 days you in between to continually feel better, to heal up. But it'll most likely be a maintaining than, suddenly getting better. You're not going to get better getting beat up on Sunday or whatever day and playing. And it's just the war of attrition that every player faces throughout the season. how to maintain, how to minimize those health issues, because everybody's hurt, but the people that can't play, they're truly injured. B, we get an increasingly better Jalen health wise, but he's still limited, and he's not fully in control of his body, and still susceptible to dealing with some issues. So that would be moderately better than what we saw with the Giants, but it still would constrict our offense. So it would just be management at that point, picking your spots here and there, where you want to run, where you want to flash his own reads, where you want to use that running ability, and then also like everything will stay with the quarterback's needs, because we saw the one called play was that in the Giants game, but that wouldn't be ideal. But it would still be better than option A, right? And then option C, where he's not going to be 100%. I don't believe that, but let's just say he's 80. I believe an 80% Hurts allows him to do most of the things that he wants to do. Like there were so many plays in the Giants game where he just ducked and took the sack, where there was an open lane, potentially there at the time in the moment, and he could have rushed up, up the middle, and then he hesitated and stayed behind enemy lines and then tried to dart around and then get the ball off to someone. But the defense not respecting that. They didn't have to honor that, so it allowed them to crash down, allowed them to just play him as a regular quarterback, and that's not his game. And then, as well, what his running ability really does, because it comes in spurts. Sometimes it's organized, design quarterback runs, but really when he takes off and he just sees open, field, and regardless of the down and distance, he'll just take it and run. That demoralizes the defense. When it's 2nd and 9 and all of a sudden he takes off and then it's 3rd and 2, that down and distance opens up the playbook. We can run, we can pass. They don't know what to expect. But all of a sudden, a manageable down and distance going into 3rd down has become an advantageous position for the offense. And then you don't know what to expect in that range. So, it could be a 15-yard play. It could be, a shot downfield. It could be just, a regular run. But you're not ready for it. And you're still trying to, get over those flashbacks of what just happened in your mind. You just let the quarterback progress the ball downfield and put his offense in an advantageous position to strike. And, you're not ready. You're not recovered. It mentally destabilizes the defense and just toys with them. So now what should I do? Should I play him? Should I run? So you're just clouding their mind. And yeah, defenses, they don't like not getting 3 and outs. They don't like being pushed around the field. Every failed attempt at stopping the offense, and the longer they stay on the field, it just chips away at their confidence. And not that they can't get the job done, but it's frustrating, because as a defense, your one job is to get the opposing team's offense off the field. And Jalen Hurts, he just slowly gets you to play with bad habits, start playing undisciplined, to maybe take some shots at him and other players. So the frustration starts bubbling up to the surface, and that can be nothing but advantageous for the offense there, because once you got them destabilized mentally, and them not being able to stop something, it's just something mentally about not being able to stop something. It just eats at you. Even it's like a fake arm. You feel that it's still there. You still have the ability to reach out, but you don't. And they eat away at your ability to execute out there on the field. Because once it becomes repetitious, it becomes fact. And that fact, it's very psychological. If you keep doing something over and over, you slowly begin to expect said outcome. And you can't have that in your mind as a football player. You got to be out there and, play under control, dominate. And that's juxtaposed to, to what's happening out there on the field. So, yeah, conundrum. Another thing to look at that I forgot to mention earlier, that Jalen was obviously protecting himself. It showed in his play style throughout the whole night. Like, he had open lanes. When he did run, he slid. He made sure to slide. He rarely does that because he gets enough leeway to get to the sidelines, or he'll just try it and bowl you over or juke you. And there was none of that night because he was playing to protect himself, not to get hurt, not to put himself in harm's way, just as a precautionary measure. And when he scrambled, he made sure to avoid the rough hit and to throw the ball out of bounds. And that's just not the way he's played throughout the year. That's reminiscent of last year when he was short-staffed, running low on options. He just would 1, 2, first read not there, second read not there, he would just chuck it. That was the limit of his abilities at the time to operate the offense. And he just was hampered by his own, inability to grasp the whole sphere of what was going on there. But now he sees the bigger picture. He's up to speed. He's playing faster. He's able to visualize and picture and dissect and know where the holes are going to be. He's night and day, light years ahead of where he was last year. But with him not being able to play his normal style, he isn't able to put that pressure on the defense. When he can make them second guess what he's going to do. Like in the Steelers game, rush for $150, threw for $150. They didn't know what to expect at the end. That is a multifaceted attack that is not going to happen if he's just being a pocket passer. That takes away from his strengths. And not just him dominating with his will. It affects the way the defenders try and attack him. They have to be very careful. Not just getting burned by a hot route, but letting him out the back door. And then it softens up the defense, shifts coverage, it changes the dichotomy of how they defend him in that back end, and as well as the second level, the linebackers. Creates those lanes behind them for passing lanes, for intermediate routes. Opens up, offense. He literally opens up the offense for everybody else by being an extraordinary player, a rusher and a runner, but not one who runs first, who looks to pass first, but will use his wheels just to throw them off. And that's the key. It throws them off of their game. They can't execute their usual plan that they play with, 75%, 85% of the other quarterbacks in the league. Mobility is a thing. And if Jalen is stripped of his, it changes everything. From the way they attack to the way he's defended. Quite simply. And if he's playing to protect himself, that's a completely different style. It takes away his aggressiveness. Not just in physical being, but his mentality as well. And that just isn't Hurts. Jalen, man, he's a game changer. And I hope that we see the close to optimal version of him so that we can continue to see these fly, Eagles, fly. Yeah, so a divisional game, we'll do some other, breakdowns throughout the week, but see what we're going to be playing against. But I think it doesn't matter who we are playing against because we're going to go out there and complete the mission. Go 1-0. So I will holla at you. Sayonara.
Like, comment, share, subscribe if you
Thanks for watching. Check me out at Cintron, Cintron Anime, Cintron Life, or Cintron Laughs, or other social media.